and welcome to this week's Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. We are here again to discuss the week's news.
Yes.
And get on
Sure.
with. I don't know. So what are we doing this? We're doing news, yeah? And
We're chatting about some bollocks. That's what it's every single week.
we're here to chat some bollocks and voice our opinions on the news.
The news.
The news.
And make chewing noises and crunchy noises with Haribo.
Sponsored by Haribo this week, so thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks, Haribo.
Yeah. Right, cool. I don't need to tell you who's here anymore, do I?
Why are you so much taller than us?
Because I'm sitting up. I decided. I looked at myself. Don't.
I
Oh,
think the lever's over your side.
fine. Are you really going to do this?
There we go.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, there we go, look at that.
I don't like the implicit hierarchy that you were suggesting. It's a bit of a dick power move.
Maybe I just liked being tall. This is Russ, by the way,
Hello.
and this is Tom,
Hello!
and I'm Dan. So yes, right. So we're going to kick off in the same way that we kick off every one of our news/bollocks pods. Russ, what have you been up to?
I have been. I've been Skyrimming.
I saw that.
How did you see that? Creepy.
So I'm just
weirdo.
watching you.
Okay. I'm
Not on your Xbox.
really
window.
hard not to get distracted, which is what was my failing last time.
Sorry.
So I'm sticking with the story mission as much as I can, and it's giving me so much anxiety because my miscellaneous list in the journal thing is now just full of people going, oh, can you take this letter? Can you go and have a look at this? Talk to this guy.
You're not seeing the dragons?
I need 10 of these. And it seriously, it gets me so anxious.
Yeah.
Every
there's a sword in the
fucker that
cave.
comes up to you, go and deliver your own sodding message. They're very lazy NPCs.
I'm sorry,
So-
those NPCs.
but no, I'm doing alright. I'm sort of churning through the main story
What
missions.
sort of character have you gone for?
I'm a kind of combination mage and single-handed combat.
Interesting one.
And I'll end up doing quite a bit of archery as well. I prefer ranged combat because the melee combat
Do a bit of everything.
Yeah, it's pretty
you know,
chunky.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not bothering with any sort of like two-handed stuff, heavy armour, tank type approach.
I usually
Keep
end
it
up
nimble.
going stealthy archer.
I don't really bother with stealth.
Do you know, I quite like
No.
stealthy.
I prefer to just walk in, kick the door down, nearest person you see, set fire to them. Turns out it was a child, this was just an inn. Doesn't matter, that's the pro. Any door you go through, kick it down, set fire to someone.
Yeah. Schwong,
Yeah.
mercy shot.
And then you're just like, honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've missed
Yeah.
you, I made you a meal. You're feeding a child killer.
That's precisely the sort of stuff I'm not doing this time. I spent way too much time getting married,
Yeah.
setting up a house, and just doing general
Adopting
admin.
children.
Fucking do this in real life. Why am I doing this in a game?
Yeah. That's the Sims conundrum.
In real life, I'm unable to tan leather.
That's true.
You're the kind of person that if, like, you got bought a voucher to
leather tanning experience.
for a leather tanning experience, you're the kind of person that would come back and go, well, I nailed it, obviously.
Yeah,
'Cause-
bossed it.
Yeah. So, you know.
So with Skyrimming, I don't know what else we did apart from that,
I
really.
love Skyrimming, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rimming the sky.
In the sky.
Before watching Stranger Things, we're just quickly
I love
going
that.
through 11 seasons of Frasier again. for like the third
I
time.
love the way you just nip that in the bud straight away. We still haven't done Stranger Things. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
It's really good, dude.
Stranger
I
Things
know,
is great,
I know.
right?
Get around to it at some point. I don't know what else. There's been a few exciting movie trailers, but we can maybe talk about that in the news section.
I've got a little bit. Yes, you watched some trailers then.
Yeah, watched some
okay,
trailers.
good.
That's about it.
Excellent. Cool.
What have you been up to?
What are we doing? Me again? Second? That's
No,
good.
not you.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at you, but I was talking to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, what have you been up
It's
to?
difficult, isn't it,
Yeah.
Ross?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure thing, Russ. It doesn't work when I say. Sorry.
You were talking to Sean.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't work. Yeah, I did it wrong, didn't
Just
I?
don't get
I
it.
messed it up, didn't I? Sorry. Sorry.
See, that skit was going really well until you got involved.
I feel the opposite of Batman.
It's the only person ever to get kicked out of an improv class. It's just not being able to cope with it.
Tom, what have you been up to?
When I put Haribo in my mouth, I have been playing a lot of Resident Evil 7.
You liking it?
I really like it. I really, really like it. It is scary.
Don't poopy in your pants yet?
There have been a few moments where it was really quite tense and scary. There's a particular bit quite near the beginning, which was in all the sort of gameplay trailers and the sort of first reveals and stuff like that, which you're having dinner with the family that have captured you. I say having dinner, it's basically a collection of body parts that they're trying to feed you bits of.
Nice.
It's pretty grim. And suddenly they all leave the room, in some sort of contrived reason. The cop shows up. And suddenly you manage to work your way loose. You sort of creep out the door and kind of look around thinking, oh shit in Christ, like which way do I go now? You turn a corner, start walking up quite a long hallway, and suddenly Jack Baker, the patriarch of the family, appears at the end of the corridor looking out a window. I remember Jodie, she was sitting next to me, my wife, and all she heard out of me was this, oh fuck, like a really high pitched thing. I was like, I was just saying backwards. And of course I was sort of snaking my way backwards, not realising that of course you are very slow when you walk. You're slow anyway in the game, which actually increases the vulnerability feeling and backtracking while crouching. Suddenly he turns round, looks straight at me, and says something, like, oh boy, we're going to have a party, or something like that. And I was, stood up, run, hide behind a couch. And of course he just comes round, but he's always at a sort of a fast walking pace. You can just about outrun him. Eventually you find somewhere to hide. Eventually he loses interest, but it is palpable. The tension is really, really high. They have really brought the series back. It's so good. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm loving it, every minute of it. You always feel vulnerable. First 2/3 of the game, phenomenal. The last third is, but it's...
You finished it?
Yeah, twice now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good. And it's a proper like Resident Evil story. It makes no real sense, but you can't help but enjoy the ride.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you not played Resident Evil 4? Take that one off the bingo sheet.
Yeah. It has actually made me kind of think I've got to go back now to Resident Evil 4 and play it more to get an idea of where they come from and
is it?
There's nice links, even though it's set. I think it's sort of set 2008.
That's such a random time.
No, it's not, isn't it? No, it's 2013 or 14. Yeah, it's random. It's something like everything all goes to shit in the game about 2008. And then you sort of arrive
It's just
years
Gangnam
later.
style.
It's really strange. But it is good. There's some links to all the earlier games. There's little links, little Easter eggs. People who played the series will get those connections.
But you don't need to be steeped in the lore of the Umbrella Corporation to really understand what's going on.
Unless you know the name of a certain reporter, then if you read one of the papers, you're just reading an article. But if you do know the name of the reporter, you're reading an article by them and you think, oh, that's quite cool, that's quite a nice touch, it's actually written by someone that I saw in Resident Evil 2, and so it's quite cool. It's very cool. Watching, well, Rick and Morty, I'm fucking obsessed with it, it's really funny. I can't recommend it heartily enough, it's brilliant. And that's about it really, we haven't really done a lot, because I've been taking over the TV playing Resident Evil 7. Well, that's me.
Excellent.
Cool. Dan, what about you?
I've done quite a lot. I've had a couple of weeks off. So, for starters, went to Chicago. It was great.
Just casually.
America?
America, yeah. And on the way over there, watched a couple of films. On the way back, watched a couple of films as well. So, watched Moana.
Oh, it's supposed to be pretty good.
It is really good. And songs are incredible. And particularly, it's got Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords.
Jermaine.
And he...
Didn't Lin-Manuel Miranda write the
Yeah, he did, yeah. And it's really, really good. He's this crab who's obsessed with shiny things. Like, he's one of the main bad guys. And, he just talks about how he just sticks all this gold to his back, basically. And every time the sun hits it, it just, shines everywhere in the cave. It's hilarious. Sun, cave, whatever. But it's really good. The Rock's great. And The Rock can really sing. It's what I...
Really well, like Taylor Swift.
Almost identical to Taylor Swift in that way. Do you?
Well, she's a bit of a fame-hungry publicity whore, but yeah, quite like her.
I respect that.
I respect that, damn it. That's her choice.
Watched Loving. Is it Loving? The one with Joel Edgerton and Ruth Negga?
Yeah.
That's really good as well. That's not really what
that's only just out in the cinema.
Yeah. Watched The Accountant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's silly film, but really good as well. And watched Jackie, on the flight back.
Yeah, Jackie.
Yeah, she does sound a bit like that as well.
Yeah.
And I watched the Lego movie. I forced Sarah to watch the Lego movie. 'Cause
Oh, I love that
Like, she-
film.
couldn't get away. She was unaware of the implications. So
Listen, I have eyes to see. Ah, my eyes!
yeah, yeah. And
I hate this place. Love that they're doing the crocodile outfit with the glow sticks.
I love it when Green Lantern gets locked up with Superman.
I hate it.
You're not going to kryptonite. So then got back and I've been NFL busy, which means that there's been a lot of NFL stuff happening. So I spent a lot of time playing computer. Which
I've been NFL busy, which is code for busy with NFL.
yeah. Just in case you didn't get the code.
What is happening at the moment then?
It's free agency.
And that means what to English-speaking people?
It's like when the transfer window opens, but it just goes ape shit when it opens in American football because everyone just makes their moves basically. It's good. It's been fun. So I've done that. Did a bit of writing. Potted for the other pod as well.
I read a couple of your
Yeah.
blogs that were posted up on Facebook. They're good.
All right.
Yeah, as someone who doesn't have even a passing interest in NFL, I still found myself compelled to read to the end.
Thank you.
That might be because of my love for you, but I think it was the writing.
Thanks, man.
That's what I mean.
I've been playing a bit as well. I got back in Skyrim as well.
Nice.
I've gone the total opposite when you're talking about not two-handed weapons and heavy armor. I am two-handed weapons and heavy armor and just knocking doors down.
Slow but a battle tank.
Yeah. I'm. You don't want me to hit you basically because if I hit you, you're dead. And-
Representing Skyrim.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So I started playing that. I played for 5 minutes before I got told to turn it off and stop playing on the Xbox. Played for 5 minutes Dishonored, which was nice. And I like where that's going in the 5 minutes I played of that. But what I played the most of, well, I got back into Overwatch because Sarah wants me to play Overwatch. So I said, I'll do it, and she's going to train me up so I can be on her team, apparently.
Dude, been trained up by your woman.
Yes, to play Overwatch, which I'm really
Yeah, that's
kind of
pretty
alright
cool.
with.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I've been playing Ghost Recon.
Can't really
Wildlands.
knock that.
I've been playing Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Is it good?
I think it would be more fun if I had other people to play with.
Paint such a lonely sound.
But it's okay, yeah. But it's the map is huge for starters, and the missions are a little bit repetitive. So it's not like Skyrim where the map's huge and you go and do all kinds of random stuff. The map's huge and you're like, go shoot this person, go acquire this, go. It's pretty samey, but I'm having a great deal of fun seeing how far away I can shoot people from. That's the most like, and I thought I was doing okay. I hit someone from 180 meters, and then just like this little and this little target comes up as it says they're dead basically. And my mate put up a video today. He's hit someone from 500.
Jesus.
500 meters.
Deliberately or?
I put a video up. I'm like, I'm too tough with this. This is 500 meters. And I go, no, I don't feel so good. That doesn't make me. I don't like those apples at all. And yeah, so it's fun. I'm enjoying it, but I kind of miss Watch Dogs. So you get a drone in this. So I've done nothing but invest in my drone because I want it to be like the one in Watch Dogs. Those days.
Have you named it?
It's probably called Walter. Everything name everything Walter. So.
Including-
Confusing.
What? Big Walter. Yeah.
Right.
Tiny Walter.
He's there
Is that
somewhere.
just called Sweetness?
It's called Sweetness. It's called The Sweetness, yeah. And I watched, I've watched loads. I watched Warcraft, the movie.
Really?
Yeah. I really liked it. Alright.
Shut up, Siri.
Yeah, Siri.
I just totally got
Siri just
bombed.
heard that you watched Warcraft and liked it. It was like, hang on.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Did you just summon me?
Yeah. Do you need to watch any other film? Yeah, and I thought it was alright. I thought it was quite enjoyable. I
haven't watched it, but I've just heard it's
got
not
bad.
breaking the streak of video game movie adaptations.
It got bad reviews
Yeah.
because it is really nerdy. Like, really nerdy. And I think that's why I got bad reviews. But other than that, it's quite good. I quite enjoyed it.
Spoken like a true fanboy.
I'm not. Well, yeah.
I think it was just too deeply invested in the
I
lore
just don't
to
think
actually
people
find a
understand.
mainstream audience.
Like what's going on in Azeroth. So I don't know that's what it's called. I don't know anything about Warcraft, so
Oh, whatever.
I don't.
I played
whatever.
Warcraft for about an hour.
I remember.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I installed that. I remember installing it, taking like an hour and a half. Going, I'll see what the fuss is about. Wandered around for half an hour. Went, nope, turned it off.
Yeah.
Just, I'm never going to play
Because
this. So.
all you can see is just sort of chat streams going up at the speed of light, and then all the quests were fetch me 400 wolf pelts, fetch me 5,983 nuggets.
Maybe if I'd have played that, more people would play Ghost Recon with me. I've been playing something else as well. I can't put my finger on what it is. Pac-Man.
Oh,
I've been playing Pac-Man with Sarah. At the moment.
Well, as in just original pack.
No, Championship Edition DX or whatever it's called.
Right.
Championship Edition Pac-Man. I'm really going to town on these
You
Haribos.
should go for it. Go to town. Put it in your mouth like that. I went to watch Community again, but they're taking it off Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thumbsticks.
Bum sticks.
I work with someone who lives near the Haribo factory in Germany.
Yeah.
And so every time she's over in the UK, she brings like restricted Haribo that you can only get in Germany.
Wow.
There's hundreds of them that we
Oh,
can't
what?
get here. Like all like tropical fruit ones and weirdy sort of a bit like the fizzy ones, but not Tangfastics. All sorts of different Haribo. It's a bit like when you go to the US and you look at all the Ben and Jerry's flavours.
Yes.
Only like this is fucking paradise. Why are we stuck with cookie dough and Rocky Road or whatever it's called?
I do have to admit, I really like the fizzy watermelon slices that Haribo do, but I can never find them.
Oh, yeah, I'll sort you out, no problem. Got a Haribo hookup.
Nice.
Let's remember another film I watched.
What other film do you watch?
John Wick 2.
Oh.
It is. They've obviously gone, what do people like about the first one? They like the guns! They like the guns! Do more of that! Do more guns!
Guns and some slow-mo.
Some slow-mo and just make it really... Let's put a guy from the Matrix in and see how many Matrix jokes we can fit into 2 minutes that they're on screen together.
Is Carrie Ann Moss in it?
No, but
So she was rumoured to be in it.
she's going to be in the next one, no doubt, to make more... I'd imagine the guy who plays Bill or Ted, whichever one he's not, will be in it next time as well, so...
I'm really excited to see that.
It is. There is a fight scene between him and one of the bad guys where it's in like rush hour traffic in a subway station, and they've both got silenced pistols and they're both like walking on like different levels, and they're doing this with the pistols, like firing their guns, and they're missing other people by like millimeters, and no one's noticing because they're silenced, and it is brilliant.
I'm pretty sure silencers don't actually work like that.
I'm pretty certain they don't. I'm pretty certain you can notice as well.
Make noises.
Yeah.
Like,
But they're just like firing.
It still sounds like a gun, it's just slightly quieter.
They're just firing. It's great. It's hilarious. There's some things that don't make any sense in it. That's fine.
Because I mean, the first one was just so grounded in reality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
as grounded in reality as Batman Begins.
I like Batman Begins.
No, I like it, but it's not. But everyone went, "Oh, it's really gritty." It's like, well, it is gritty. It's not realistic.
do you wanna
Realistic.
Something annoying that happened. I accidentally turned on one of the music things on the plane, and they were playing the last song from Inception. I was like, oh. I was like frantically, like just hoping that Inception was one of the.
Have
films.
you seen that video of Charlie Chaplin's speech from the Great Dictator to that music?
No.
It is brilliant. It just fits perfectly. That whole rant about soldiers, you are not the servants of base men. You are soldiers. You know, don't let yourselves drop to the level of these petty. You know, the whole comment on Nazis and stuff. It's not really pop culture fodder, but you know, fodder. But yeah, it's fucking brilliant. It just fits. That sounds brilliant. I've got to say something annoying. I've just noticed you're wearing an Aperture Laboratories. That is brilliant. Excellent t-shirt.
Thank you.
This t-shirt right
Dressed up,
here.
didn't you, for the pod this time?
Oh, because this is not at all what I'd normally.
In fairness,
wear.
yeah, that's true. Yes, that's
I was gonna say something annoying did happen, which I think I probably told you about, but it might be nice for the viewers. Yes, that's right. 76 viewers we had last time. I got banned from Xbox Live for 6 hours.
Yes.
Because
I got-
of penis.
But no, sadly not because of penis. Sadly, not because of penis, but because I was putting together some of our Let's Play videos. I can't remember whether it was a Drambles, Rambles, Brambles, or whatever, but I remember that I recorded a video of myself dancing against the Kinect green
Sure,
screen.
this isn't a penis related question.
I was dancing, going like and subscribe, sha, and I uploaded it to upload by accident because I forgot to comp it into a video, and they banned me for non-video game content for 6 hours. So I basically got my slap on the wrist for putting up non-video game related content onto upload. Man, they swooped on me. Like literally, I put it up, and 20 minutes later, the email came through. You've been banned for 6 hours.
It must have an algorithm that can sort of detect
Yeah.
the difference between a game and real footage.
It says something like the violation team, which just sounds so wrong. Like,
What do you do?
the cheerleaders here
I'm
send
the
in the violation team.
Come up with a better name than that.
But yeah, that was irritating because it meant I couldn't do any videos for 6 hours.
Oh dear.
What did you do with yourself?
Penis.
Masturbated.
Penis.
Yeah. Whacked off.
you
Into
got
my
some- I
own
can't-
sock drawer.
Honestly, just the drawer.
Yeah. Chiseled it open.
Honestly, can't remember why, but I got to use the term double baby the other day. And I
Oh,
was
a double baby. Yeah, double baby for you. And now you. Yeah, good. That was good.
Excellent. Right.
News?
It's understated news.
That is, that's kind of overkill.
Sorry, I went too far, didn't it? Where do we want to start?
Probably at the top.
Okay.
Of your page.
You
I've got
guys,
some news
you
then.
guys are a riot. You know that.
I've got some news today.
Do we want to start with the Switch?
Oh, God.
No, let's try and start working down the proportion of the podcast that's spent switch bitching.
Are we going to be bitching about the Switch? It's done really well.
It was never not going to. It had
Yeah,
tons
true.
of pre-orders. It's not. We weren't saying it was going to be a commercial failure.
And of course,
A hardware failure, maybe.
and of course, the fact that so many people bought it means that you're very likely to get loads of people who've just made a purchase of that amount of money going, "Oh, that was a fucking." that was a
I
fucking.
really wouldn't. I've lived in here for quite a while.
Okay. Sort of going, "Oh, that was a waste of money. I made a mistake." You're just not going to get that out of the crowd that spent £450
On Zelda.
on everything they
So-
need to play Zelda.
Can you imagine?
Which
I've
appears
been saving up forever to play 1-2 Switch.
which everyone seems to be treating like it's the farts of the god.
Yeah.
Like-
Do we want to come back to Switch
Yeah,
later?
let's come back to that. Yeah,
Okay, because there's quite a bit
bile rising
to do
already.
this already.
Other
so,
news.
So Mass Effect, right? That game that's going to be
Yay.
delayed. Yeah,
Yes,
it's going to be on EA Access from Thursday, so I don't think it's getting delayed at all. I'm pretty certain it's going to come out now.
I find myself very confused by the whole prospect that there's a Mass Effect game that, to be fair, they've said has around the same amount of speaking characters as the last 2 games combined.
Yeah.
Which means there's over 1,200 speaking characters, which means, and also that's not just loads more people who speak. It's also apparently like double the size of things that you were able to do in a single Mass Effect game.
I was just so delighted that it's happening. There's been. I haven't seen any adverts for it. There's nothing on TV.
Yep.
No point of sale stuff. In any
No
stores.
billboards.
But
Yes,
it's like sort of you go to bed in the middle of June and you wake up and in the next morning everyone's going, "Happy Christmas!" You go, "What? What? Really?"
It's a-
What?
Yeah, so
it
it's
just
going to
seems really delightfully unexpected.
be on
weird, isn't it?
EA Access from Thursday. So if you've got EA Access, you'll be able to play it from Thursday.
But would I have to buy it?
What EA Access? No, you can play for free on EA Access.
It's their
for 10 hours.
subscription
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you'd eventually have to buy it after you played the 10 hours of it. And have you got EA Access?
Stop
No.
saying EA Access.
I know that. Have you got? It's what it is.
Have you got EA's subscription service?
subscription? Yeah, I've got to say. There's tons of games on there that you missed. Titanfall's on there, Battlefront's on there.
Yeah, but if I can only play for 10 hours before I have to buy the game, why don't I just buy the game?
Because you guys play it early.
But I still have to pay £39.99 a month, don't I?
What, for the EA Access?
Yeah.
No, it's £15 for a year.
Is it 15 quid a year?
Yeah.
Well, then I don't know what the point of my argument is.
Well, it should be free because all it is a demo system.
Yeah,
They've worked out how to do demos of games again.
And there's a ton of full games on there you can download for free.
I have been schooled.
Just have a look at the games on there, and if they interest you, it's worth it. Also, you get 10% off EA stuff.
Well,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
My question though, if you're going to swell a game by that much, this is my question to you, two very fine gentlemen. Will increased player freedom in the whole game and that amount of stuff to do and that amount of stuff of people to speak to, is that just going to water down the traditionally tight story-led experience that we've come to expect from the Mass Effect games, exemplified probably best by number 2, which is the best of the Mass Effect games?
Yeah, and there was very little in the way of just completely extraneous quests
Yes.
in that. Everything did feel like it was contributing to the
They
overall
really
narrative.
tightened everything up. Even the exploration was cut away to not having to drive around on the surface and just
Yeah.
launch, well, dildos at planets and just let them mine the shit out of it.
Makes some really satisfying noises.
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
it?
when I spent ages harvesting, enough iridium or whatever it was to make
Element 0.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
I'm wondering if sort of some of this is kind of branched, so based on decisions that you make, there might be whole chunks of that you don't see if you go down a certain path.
So you think
So
they're
it's-
going to close doors on you?
Maybe, well, just because you could run into that thing where something just feels overwhelmingly huge, or you get sort of slightly frustrating feeling that you've not actually seen everything you were meant to. Whereas, there could be in the same way that there's always a sort of a save character A or character B type thing, there could be a few more of that sort of thing. So you've gone down this path, so none of this stuff happens. There might be whole characters and storylines which would increase your replay value.
But how often do you go back and play a full open thing like that?
Well, I've done Mass Effect a ridiculous amount of times. 'cause
Right, see, I did the first one.
I always
a load of
forget to
times.
save my characters. So
Yeah.
when Mass Effect 3 came out, I had to play all the way through Mass Effect 1 and 2 to get the Shepard that I wanted going into Mass Effect 3.
That really pleases me. That
Well,
really
also, there
pleases
is,
me.
you can do the shitty previously on Mass Effect and it sort of gives you the
Yeah,
major
but it,
decisions.
but it
it's not
misses
the same.
out the stuff like the fan. I can't remember what his name is. The fan, the guy that you meet in all 3 games, and in the final game you can save his life, and he goes off to be an extremely influential member of the human fight. And there's all the expansions that you can play, like the Citadel expansion of Mass
yes.
Effect 3
Yeah.
is quite probably the finest example of downloadable content doing something that I think every single fan of that game wanted it to do.
Answered a lot of
It
questions.
was answered a lot of
Yeah.
questions. It was a beautiful swan song. It was it provided a better experience than the ending of the game, if you know what I mean. It kind of gave you more closure on these
That
characters.
was the one where it was just their free time, wasn't it?
Well, they go through a whole thing trying to capture a lookalike Shepard. And then once that's all done and dusted, Anderson gives you his flat on Citadel, and you end up having a big. Well, it's an orgy. That's what happens. We all know that's what happens. Everyone gets pissed and has an orgy.
It's.
And fair dues, saving the galaxy from the Reaper
Yeah,
threat is
title to some
stressful.
R&R.
Full off some steam.
I think it's going to be a little bit like Skyrim. You can go into Skyrim and you can just do the main quest if you want to.
Yes.
I think you're going to get that with this. I think you're going to get the main quests that further the story as well as the loyalty missions as well. Because they've already mentioned there's the loyalty
Do you
missions.
think they're going to do Radiant stuff like they did in Skyrim?
What do you mean, sorry?
Like the Radiant quest lines that in theory could go on forever. Like
Yeah,
the Dark
it's
Brothers
just
quest line, it just
randomly
carries on
Oh, that would be
forever
amazing.
and
So
ever and ever.
wouldn't it be fun if you encounter an alien race and you start doing them favours and then they treat you as one of their own, basically? I don't know. It's a bit like if you come across like a trade federation, for example.
Yeah.
And
Negotiating a
Yeah.
treaty on a small outlying world. Yeah.
But you start running errands for them, and then eventually you're part of that trade federation, much like in.
I hope they're not going to cast us as like some intergalactic errand boy.
No, that's a really bad example on my part, but you can do these things like becoming a member of the Dark Brotherhood or a werewolf even in Skyrim. So I think you'll get out of it what you put into it. If you just want to go and do the main quests, I think that's an option. What I'll say is.
But they've left that open as well. We know for a fact that once you finish the main quest, the galaxy will still be then open to exploration afterwards.
So that's potentially, as long as there's something to do.
Yeah.
Because often there is kind of that thing at the end of an open world game where it's like you can go and explore and do whatever you want. You're like, oh, I've kind of done everything now.
Yeah.
There's no
There's no dragon threat anymore.
blipping up on the mini map.
I mean, that's what Oblivion and Skyrim were quite good at. Was once you did finish the main quest, there was fucking loads of stuff to do. I mean, there was almost too much to do. To be honest, they're quite overwhelming. Which I guess that's the thing. Maybe there's a sliding scale. There's like go for the Mass Effect 2 type of game, plot, kind of open world, but you can do things in your own order and at your own pace, or you've got to go so big that people can carve their own stories in it. You fuck up an open world by getting to a point where it's massive and there's nothing to do, or it's tiny but there's too much to do. I would argue that some of the like Assassin's Creed games after Assassin's Creed 2 swamped your map. Like Assassin's Creed 3 swamps your map with so much shit to do all over the place that it's just a bit like, there were points where I wasn't even sure I was actually doing the story. I was seeing cutscenes and people doing stuff, but then I find myself going back into the storyline and never quite knowing whether I was doing a job or the next amazing thing the Assassins do in the war against the Templars. I hope I made a point there.
No, you did.
Definitely. Forcefully and succinctly.
Thank you.
Let's
Not at all waffly.
credit where credit's due, though.
Indeed.
It's BioWare.
Thanks.
It's BioWare.
Oh, it's BioWare.
And you told that perfectly.
And I always say BioWare don't get any points for good writing. Anymore.
Exactly. So, and they don't really put a foot wrong, bar the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, it was a bit of a misfit. They did also write Legion, though, who is probably one of the greatest and most expressionful characters.
Whilst having no
faces.
Yeah.
Faces? Face. He did have little eyebrows.
He's got little lenses, isn't he?
Yeah.
Legion's great.
I love Legion.
They.
That's right, 1,129 Geth programs running in Legion.
Yeah.
Or something like
It
that.
was a little bit the way he just goes, oh, no. Most Geth are on your sides, the ones you've been fighting are baddies. And everyone goes, okay, boss. Like, I want a bit more corroboration than that. And also, you can take him to the Citadel and he just walks around with you, and nobody goes, that's one of those terrifying robots that's been slaughtering people. What the fuck?
He's got an N7 breastplate, so he's N7
Yeah.
cleared. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No, they do actually stop him. You're not allowed your synthetic on. Like, that's what fucking, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just
The dudes that almost destroyed the Citadel last time. Do we not? No? Okay, fine. Yeah, we've got Legion is fine.
Where's he getting the N7 breastplate? The dead Commander Shepard.
Yeah, I
before,
stole
so,
it from his body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Literally
That
picked it
doesn't
off his
make me feel
charred
any
body.
easier. Yeah, exactly.
Something very wrong in the state of Mordor.
Yeah, Mordor.
Mordor?
Speaking of which, let's move on. Shadow of War. New trailer of the new Shadow of Mordor
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it does look good.
It does look good.
Okay, next.
Yeah. I don't know what else to add to that. Trailer looks great. Looks set in a decent era of Middle Earth that I will look forward to playing in. I still haven't played Shadow of Mordor, so I know very little about it.
When is it set?
It's just after Sauron is about to rise again, isn't it? I think.
Just after he's about to rise again.
Yeah, I know. I realise it sounds particularly smart. It's.
Are we talking around the Hobbit time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's between Hobbit and main
The
trilogy.
Fellowship.
Because in the Hobbit, he's still the necromancer in Mirkwood, isn't he? Or is that before that?
That's right. Well, they think that was brilliantly done
Yeah.
in The Hobbit, by the way. The
Yeah.
necromancer. It was superb. I loved that bit with Gandalf toiling in the clutches of the necromancer.
But the trailer looks good. Looks fun. Made me want to play Shadow of Mordor, which might be next to my list of
To be
games.
fair, there's not much else you can ask from a trailer if it makes you want to play the
Yeah.
game that it comes after.
Sadly, just behind Skyrim, which I need to finish, and Witcher 3.
You're never going to finish Skyrim or Witcher 3.
Witcher 3 is even bigger than Skyrim.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 is brilliant.
It's a good.
It's really, really good. I've sunk a fair few hours into it, and I don't feel like I've scratched the surface.
What do I want to be spending my time on out of Skyrim and Witcher 3?
I would always plump for Skyrim
Yeah.
because I can just all right, Russells.
Russell's,
I can just
the packet.
Green gun.
nice. Yeah, I can always hop into Skyrim and find something very quickly to do off my list, basically with my miscellaneous or something, and just do it and really enjoy it.
I'm quite looking to after completing the quest and leveling up and everything, being this sort of insanely powerful, world-beating warrior who goes back to Riverwood and says, "Oh, there's that thing you're looking for."
Yeah.
You're like, "That was 2 years ago. Where have you been?"
Yeah.
He's dead
Like
now.
that dude who gives you that sack to give some offerings to the,
Oh, to take
the
up the mountain.
Greybeards.
Yeah.
I've still got that in my inventory. I'm not even entirely sure where this dude is. Like, I keep trying to find him, and it's like I've still got this fucking sack in my inventory. It's just a sack. Can't get rid of it. Can't even fashion clothing out of it.
Just
It's
get
like
to the
it's a
end.
quest item. You can't,
Yeah,
you
can't get rid of it.
You can just go back up the mountain and put it in the box.
I did. I came back with an empty sack.
Fucking Skyrim glitches.
It's a
You've
bit like
now got a permanent sack.
You have a permanent sack.
it's
yeah.
a bit like that.
And I'm a female character, so that is doubly awkward.
The ending of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, when they go and beat the shit out of spoilers, and they go and beat the shit out of people
How
who
many
said
people
everything.
want to keep
yeah,
Star
yeah.
Wars?
So that's just gets the end and just crossed off your list of things that you got to do.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yes!
Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, new one.
What?
Looks really good.
I mean, they're really knocking the trailer game out of the park.
Yeah,
to mix a few
true
principles there.
Yeah, it's got the chain as well, Fleetwood Mac, which is
Yeah.
an excellent choice of song.
True that.
So, yeah, not much to add except I can't get any more excited about it. So,
No, I can understand that.
so I am super excited about Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm super excited about Thor Ragnarok, which looks good.
Did you see that picture of Jeff Goldblum in costume?
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
It literally looks like
And
something out of
have you seen-
Starlight Express.
Have you seen Thor?
Yes,
He is looking hot in this one.
he is. Yes. So, I like that they are exploring the weird side of things with this one, by the looks of things. So Thor's chopped all his hair off for starters.
Yep.
He's got swords rather than a hammer as well in this one, which is weird. Kate Blanchett looks good in this as well. And yeah, Jeff Goldblum looks like I imagine space Jeff Goldblum would look like.
Yeah.
I'm
He looks
traveling.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Jeff Goldblum.
But there was like someone who put that picture up on Twitter, and I think it says something along that there is literally nothing you could do to Jeff Goldblum to make him unfuckable.
I follow a
It does still look pretty
Facebook
cool.
group called The Same Picture of Jeff Goldblum every day. And every day there's a picture of Jeff Goldblum that goes up on my timeline. And every day it gets about 6,000 likes.
Nice.
6,000 people are doing the same thing with Jeff Goldblum.
That was a great, you know, in Jurassic Park, the picture of him in Jurassic Park when he's like injured, so he's got his shirt open,
Sam Neill is
It's
like
Sam Neill.
rubbing his chest.
resting on him.
It's hilarious.
So weird.
They take it where Sam Neill's going up and down on the Triceratops and put him on Jeff Goldblum.
Whoever made that has got some issues. Really
It's
big
great
issues.
though.
That's a good few hours work. Carefully, like you have to rotoscope that frame by frame. That's quite a lot of effort to go to.
You'd imagine though, they would be so proud when they're done.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's any way to really monetize having a popular GIF.
Yeah.
Should we keep going with trailers? Another trailer that looks quite good?
Trailers.
Alien Covenant. New trailer.
Yeah,
Explains a
that's
bit more about the story in this one.
The you mean the sort of 3 or 4 minute
Yeah.
prequel thing? Well,
Yeah.
like
But
trailer.
it's not even that. It seemed to be most of the film.
It did feel long, didn't it?
Yeah, and and they do
I
go
was like,
into
oh, yes, that Brian's going to say something hilarious. Then he didn't say anything funny.
any fucking powers. Oh, and then there's lots of blood, lots of aliens.
And not one fuck was given.
I just think that the idea is that loads
I'll
of
get it, shall I?
Let's go over that.
No, I'm not going to chuck it over there.
I need to clean out in here. It's a bit of a hole at the moment.
it seems to be about couples to keep on subject of something that's not happening.
Well, I mean, they're sort of, because it's a colony mission, it's
Yeah.
married couples that have gone.
They're going to be doing it.
Space boning.
And they'll be hoping for
Double
babies.
Double babies.
I don't think we can turn that into like a thing.
We already have.
It has happened.
Yeah, we made
We'll
it.
get some double baby t-shirts.
Double baby t-shirts. Excellent. Yeah, it looks like it'll be an alien film. That's about all I can say from it, and it looks quite good. They seem to make the same mistakes everyone does in alien films. Let's not tread carefully for starters. Let's just peer into these giant, evil-looking egg sacs, and I'm sure everything will
So,
be
like,
fine.
that's the point where someone needs to go, guys, fuck this, we're off. We're We're leaving now.
It's the bit where they're exploring and they're like, there's no noise. And it's like, and there's no noise and half these trees are knocked down. You're not a little bit concerned about this potentially, that this might not be a good place to be?
Seismic activity. That's all that is.
I feel like maybe at some point we should do a commentary track to the Alien trailer. Because there's a lot that happens in that trailer. So there's a bit where there's the person with the hoodie, the cloak up and with the gun, and then it cuts to like loads of dead aliens around, and you
That's
get
a
the
really
feeling,
intense stare you just gave me there.
but you get the feeling it might be what's her face from Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the
New
sort
River
of
Pass.
timescale difference?
I think it's set roughly in the same era as Prometheus, isn't it?
It can't be too far. It can't be too far after.
Because David isn't David in this one, is he? He's another copy.
But David is in it. He is. Mike Fassbender has confirmed that he's playing both David and Walter.
And Noomi Rapace has signed up to be in, isn't she? So,
Love Noomi Rapace.
so.
I love you, Noomi Rapace.
But budget Tom Hardy's
Intriguing.
not in it.
Budget Tom Hardy isn't in it. The cuntiologist. He was a cock, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. And he looks like cheap Tom Hardy, so fuck him. Avatar 2's been put back.
Do
Right.
not give a shit.
It's going to be 2019. I love the fact there's all these plans for like theme parks and stuff. And like, cool, yeah, no, James, that's great. You keep working on Avatar 2.
Do they
None of us
think
cares.
It was very popular at the moment it came out, but it's not the cultural touchstone that he seems to think it
The
is.
story's ended though, haven't they? They evicted everyone off of Pandora, and
Apparently
now
another like 5 films.
Yeah, he
back
says he's
out.
got another 5 films.
I think he should stop inflicting this terrible thing on the world and concentrate on
I think Titanic 2 would go down better
raising
right now.
the. Yeah, that's actually quite good on so many levels.
Yeah. I think
Titanic
would
2
go
picks up
down.
immediately where the last one ended.
just floats back to the surface.
It's just following it down.
Oh, there was a.
It's fine, air bubble or something. Whatever. Look, he's not dead. He's just,
Whatever, don't think about it. Fuck you!
he's just a Smurf now. Don't think about it. Look, there's Arnie from Terminator. Leonardo turned into Pandora thing from Avatar. just shoved all this shit into this one film. Distract from the fact that no one wants Avatar
I
2.
just love the thought of him sinking beneath the icy depths and then riding a bubble to the surface.
It's like
Oh my God, there's totally room on that
they
sword for me.
could do it like Two Towers. So you know the bit where in Two Towers starts
Yeah.
with Gandalf.
He's gonna come back up on a giant eagle.
Onto the rescue boat. I'm back, bitches!
She's already flirting with another guy.
Oh!
And but, so the bit where Gandalf is falling into, he's in the mines of Moria and he's chasing the Balrog and he grabs the sword and starts hacking.
That's such a boss
Yeah,
move. That.
so you got Leonardo DiCaprio chasing the Titanic down, just hitting it with a sword, and then just rises
Is
back
that
up.
why it's in 2 bits?
Yeah, he snapped it in half.
Yeah. That's clever.
He rescues the bag.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what
pretty
happened.
cool.
James, let me know if you want me to write Titanic 2 for you. I've got some ideas. But yeah.
I think this is why none of us are successful film writers.
I don't know, I think I've nailed it. You're right.
I think I need to go for a poo.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can be right.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'll be alright.
Just
Nip
go.
in, go on.
Yeah, fine. We'll keep them entertained.
Don't risk it.
That's the, that's the Haribo.
Move.
Yeah, no, it's fine, I'm fine.
Okay,
0 dare. It's got to stop eating nothing but those prune yogurts that Martine McCutcheon advertises.
The ones with the arrow pointing down. This is where he's going.
I was thinking
Quickly.
that the tagline should just be goes right through you.
It looks like it's building velocity, the fact the arrow's kind of widened towards the anus. Oh,
Right,
Jesus.
fellas, is this the place?
Oh, this guy.
Ah,
hey,
jeez.
Fellas, what's going on?
Hi.
we did this. I mean, this isn't the same place as we were last time.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
You've been turning up there, have you?
Yeah, your mum
Where
was quite
did you
quite
get this
friendly.
address?
Tom's people sent it over.
Jesus.
Where is Tom? Is he around?
Having a shit.
Having a poo.
It's just.
Well, it's
Yes.
it's nice to be back.
Hey man, how are you?
Yeah.
You got it under
good.
control, I see you have.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's taking a leaf out of Markiplier's book.
Yeah,
The old dead guy.
you look exactly like him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So how we been keeping?
Good.
Yeah, all the better for seeing
You know Russ, don't you?
Yeah, Russ, you're right, mate.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Archery weekends. And
You're still
whatnot.
pissed off about the archery weekend.
Who?
Yeah, Russ.
Why? What happened to the archery
Got a
weekend?
double score.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, I got a double score.
180.
He's pissed off at me 180. Yeah. 3 treble 20s.
The unnecessary showboating afterwards.
So you guys still keeping up with the archery weekends? Then?
Yeah, we're still keeping up with the. Yeah, we're still keeping up with it. Yeah, no, it's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I mean, I'm free at weekends a lot of time.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. So
You got something to talk to us about?
well, do you want me to carry on with the contractually obligated service that I run?
Is that the contract?
No, it's not the contract. This is my piece.
Do you have your contract with you?
No, mate, no.
Are we giving him money for this?
Well, someone's giving me money for this. It's in my contract.
I did. see
Last
this
time
contract.
it was Walker's Crisps. I think it's McCoy's now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I am
I'm back.
certainly rigid.
Yes, right. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about a game that I really enjoyed.
Please do.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to
go
be like a sly monologue. But first, I want to address the veil that's going on here, the hair. I thought to myself, what's the games industry lacking? What hole can I fill? Apart from your mum, obviously. And I realised that it's mystery. Mystery is what is missing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm styling myself from now as the seer of the games journalism industry. I will be successful by not having a face, at least no face that can be seen by human eyes. What
Uh-huh.
do we think?
Mysterious,
Nice? Yeah,
yeah.
mysterious.
That's great. Yeah.
So let's crack on. I want to talk about Resident Evil 7. The structure of this section will
Tom's been playing that.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking on the old Xbox Live actually.
Oh, cool. Can I add you on?
Yeah, fine. So let's crack on. The structure of this section is going to be quite simple. Okay, it's going to be half review, half post-mortem, half the state of horror games, half why it was so good, and half how it made me feel. So it's going to be a game of two halves, as you can probably tell.
Oh.
So cast your minds back to Resident Evil 1. Okay, horror came to a manor house in a blur of zombies and herbs, and it was brilliant. Okay, cast your minds back to Resident Evil 2. Horror came to a city in a blur of more zombies and herbs, and it was even acer. Cast your minds back to Resident Evil 3, and horror came to a city again, but this time with more zombies and a massive big zombie wearing a trench coat, and it was quite good. Cast your minds back to Resident Evil 4. Horror came to Spain with chainsaws and crazy ass foreigners, and it was incredible.
Never played it.
Cast your minds back to Resident Evil 5, which was shit, and so was Resident Evil 6, which was just so shit, I really can't understand what happened. I don't know why it's crazy and thought it was a worthy addition, or even anything comparable to Resident Evil 4. I mean, you guys would probably agree. Well, because eventually they get back on track. So enter Resident Evil 7. Hello, you magnificent scary bastard. Okay, so I'll cut to the chase. It's great. Especially the first 2/3, which are pant-wettingly brilliant. They're scary, they're well-paced, they're atmospheric, bringing back things that made the previous entries in the series so good, like the puzzles, the inventory system, the connected inventory boxes, which are a personal fucking favourite of mine. I love the fact that you can put a herb in one box one place, and then you can go into another place and you can find the same herb, or it's just another one. I'm not entirely sure. And having completed it twice, I'm overflowing with good things to say about it, although there are some downers. So let's just temper some expectations and roll on with this mother. Not your mother, Dan. It's just a bit of the piece here. So the good things. The Baker family. They're twisted and scary, hounding you as they do for the better part of the first 2/3 of the game. And they're definitely one of the scariest collections of pursuers in a horror game so far, I would say, in the history of horror games. The Baker family home, making up the main setting of the game. The rotting old rotten house is rotten and rotting around you as you make your way through the rot, evoking images of rotten food and rotting wood, and the rotting old rotten house creaks and rots around you. It's rotten and rank and makes you feel rotten. It's fucking perfect. And the puzzles? They're as fucking mental as they've always been in Resident Evil games, so welcome back to that. The story is compelling, it's teased, and then finally reveals in a flood of documents you find near the end of the game. It's perfect. The first person view nails it. As the immersion goes, it's a very wise decision. You feel slow, you feel vulnerable, and that's scary to me. It's like going to the toilet in winter. It's chilling. Yeah, it's a good one. You like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, nice. The atmosphere is so thick you can practically taste it, and it tastes good, like mummy's chicken dinner. Not your mummy, Dan. Just a metaphor. The sounds, every creak, wind howl, voice, it's spot on. Credit to all involved. I mark you down as an A+. So that's well done to you lot. And the bad things. Shall I talk about the bad things?
Please do.
The ending. After a subpar boss battle, it feels rushed and underwhelming, like my sexual performance. And that was an easy one. The zombie enemies, boring, the scary as fuck, and when you first encounter them they're not, but then once you get a few more weapons, I mean who gives a fuck, they're just simple. The last third of the game, while it's not rubbish, it loses everything that makes the first two thirds so good, which is a shame, but it does give you an excuse to go back and play them again, so that's okay, and that's it. And what I will say is that the bad things are not enough to justify not playing this game. If you like horror, if you like horror games, if you follow the Resident Evil series, if you enjoy good games, then you should play it. It's an important game. It's a scary horror game, and who knew they'd ever exist again after things like The Evil Within? And it's the revival that the Resident Evil series needed. Yes, the last third is a letdown, but it's still better than a lot of things out there. The first two thirds are masterful, there's variety, there's jumps, there's some rock hard boss battles, and it is great fun. You never feel powerful, you always feel on edge, it's sublimely clever and it messes with your head. So what now? What now for horror games? Well, Resident Evil 7 builds on the legacy of PT by showing that clever horror is possible in AAA gaming, and that the first person view is the view for today's horror games. Resi 7 also shows how good character development through environmental storytelling can work. The Baker Plantation is as twisted as its occupants, and everything just fits. You feel that one can't exist without the other. And even the most unbelievable things will feel like they have a place in the world, and that's not an easy thing to do these days. Finally, horror games now have a blueprint to follow, and an example that you can hold up to show where the efforts like Evil Within and Until Dawn went wrong in their attempts to try and be horror. Hopefully, upcoming games are going to take a leaf out of Resi 7's book. And finally, let me finish on this. That Resi 7 exists is a good thing. That it came after 5 and 6 is a good thing too. It took 2 failed attempts to recapture the essence of Resi 4 to convince the creators that they can't do it. Resi 4 was a product of its time, and it was revolutionary. Resi 7 is a product of its time too, and while not revolutionary in horror gaming in general, it is evolutionary. This was the next step we were waiting for, and the future now looks very bright for dingy dark horror games. And that's it. I'm done.
Nice.
Excellent. You know we're recording this on video, right?
Yeah, mate. That's this is like a shell of anonymity for me. It's hair.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not
so.
sure which way he's facing.
No,
It's so. It's. I call this style the cousin it.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see a fucking thing, but it's
not-
you know
It's pretty
good.
the point, isn't
It's
it?
a little
No.
bit on the itchy side.
Still going
It is.
with
It's itchy. It's quite hot under here. I've got to say.
Sort of velcroing onto your beard a bit.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
is a bit. It is a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the hat as well.
Yeah.
Nice hat.
No, it's thanks, mate. It's just fashion. You
Yeah,
just gotta,
exactly, yeah.
Just got to keep up with fashion.
It's not really something we'd know about.
We paying you extra because it's video now.
No, mate. No, my likeness rights have already been sorted out in the contract with Tom's people. Don't worry about it. And that's
Can
fine.
you name like 2 of Tom's people?
Yeah, the Jeff the lawyer, and
You called Jeff the lawyer.
yeah, and Phil, Jeff's friend.
Jeff's.
Yeah.
Best friend.
Jeff
Jeff
friend.
the lawyer.
So,
friend.
so Jeff got him a job, presumably.
Yeah.
You know these guys, do you?
Yeah. Yes.
As long as this is all on a sound legal
Yeah.
framework.
No, it's all sound and legal. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. So, I'm legally out of here.
All right.
You miss Tom probably.
Missed him. Don't worry about it. I'll catch up with him until the next archery weekend. That's right.
See
We're going to go
you-
do some archery.
See you, archery.
Archery. No, I see you. Cheers, fellas.
Take care.
Adios, ladies. Bye.
Take care. We've got a. We're gonna have to move again.
You keep just turning up at mine. Makes your mum jokes to my mum, which is awkward anyway, in the first place. He's...
Hey.
You alright?
Yeah, do not go in there. That is what you get when you drink too much coffee and eat too much Haribo.
Did you tell Gurnlist where we were?
Journalist.
It's just been there.
He's back.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
it's just been there.
I thought he'd been like excommunicated.
Well, that's what I mean. That's
We
what we,
just
thought.
didn't tell him
I
where we
think
were.
I think he's a bit like a pigeon. He just sort of homes.
A homing pigeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. So.
Oh, have you? Oh, yes. Right, yeah.
Oh, anyway, should we carry on?
Yeah. Wait. Some trailers.
Right, so we've done trailers. Trailers done.
Whoa.
What?
We're not done on trailers.
Enlighten me, Russ.
Did you
hot
see
here.
the Baby Driver trailer?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, it looks
Does it
really
look
good.
good?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Explain Baby Driver again.
So it's a sort of heisty car chasey movie for
It's Edgar Wright.
Edgar
not
Wright.
much, yeah.
John Hamm's in it, Kevin Spacey's in it,
Okay.
a bunch of other people are in it. First trailer out today, and it looks really good. So Baby, the main character, is this sort of very
Driver?
young getaway driver.
Okay.
It's a fairly classic one last job and I'm out type situation. I'm guessing it doesn't all go textbook to plan. But his thing is he listens to music like all the time for reasons that
Those
aren't
sorts of
quite
things don't
explained in the
really, if
trailer.
ever, go to plan.
Well, yeah.
All of the last job and I'm out.
Seems to.
Oh, man,
Quite a
one last
boring
mission
movie,
left.
isn't it? It's just a textbook job.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt, no problem, so just get away scot-free. But yeah, that looks really good. And what was the other trailer I thought that looked absolutely fucking incredible? Atomic Blonde.
Yes, I know. I have seen that. That looks amazing.
Oh, that looks good. Which is by the guy who directed John Wick. It's John Wick with
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron as an MI6 assassin.
Can we just stop for a moment? Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I don't know.
In 80s Berlin.
Oh.
With a Queen soundtrack. It's
And it's called Atomic Blonde as
Yeah.
well. And she looks like Deborah Harry.
Yeah, so I'm
yeah.
be very disappointed if there's not a bit of Blondie in there at some point.
Mm.
But this look, have you seen that trailer?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Very exciting.
There's also a new Fast and Furious 8 trailer, which is another like 4-minute long. I think this film was meant to be like 3 hours.
I think it's going to be an epic.
Yeah.
I think there'll be an extended version when it comes out on DVD.
Charlize Theron's in that as well, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she is, yeah. She's the bad guy in that.
Yeah, so apparently like, the thing that came out of this was basically she can just control all cars. Which doesn't make any sense.
None of it does anymore.
I think it sounds like one of the writers was reading an article about the Internet of Things and just wildly misunderstood the concept. That is a thing.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, you fucking Neanderthal.
Sorry, I don't.
When like your light bulb can talk to your fridge and order a frappuccino, or you can have those buttons that you put in your cupboards.
Is that something that NFL players do? Because I wouldn't.
Hives.
Well, Hives?
Well,
Hives.
I've got hives. I've got
Yeah.
two Hive light bulbs at home.
That's Internet of Things.
Yeah.
What are you
IoT.
talking about? This is a different language to me.
IoT.
Everything that has an IP address that's not a computer.
It means connectivity between everything. It means your laptop being able to talk to your fridge and you being able to monitor what's going on. It's about pill pots being able to tell whether you've taken the right dose.
Yeah.
It's about being connected, your biometrics feeding data and your pill pot then going, well, therefore you need that. It's all about things being connected, monitoring, feeding into some great big gargantuan terrible machine where all the data's being churned and
I'd say
shoved
it's
down
quite sinister.
The cloud.
the cloud.
And actually,
Okay.
cars do like, so you can get cars now. Like you wake up and it's a bit cold. You press a button on your phone and the heated seats will turn on and it starts defrosting the windscreen before you even leave the house.
I do that in my car. I hit the button that says heated seats and they turn on when it's cold.
Yeah, but you had to get into your car to press that button, didn't you?
That's not the Internet of Things. You seem to be
That's just you pressing a button.
misunderstanding it.
No, I'm
at
just
a-
saying,
at a
what's the
base
fucking
level.
point? It sounds.
The fucking point is that you can do it from bed.
From bed.
Anyway, so she seems to basically be able to.
Hang on!
Do you understand that?
She can-
Do
you must be able to get an internet connected bed these days. In fact, yeah, you can. There's one that like track your sleeping and stuff like that.
Why?
See, that always
I
creeps
don't
me
know.
out a little bit. That there's
It
something.
starts folding up like in a cartoon.
Yeah. Well, you're up.
It's the reason. It's the reason Fitbits work. You don't get any fitter because you put a Fitbit on, but it gives
People
you,
do think that.
but it gives you numbers. It gamifies your day-to-day life.
Sorry, gamifies.
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 As in you
Jesus,
can
Dan.
track,
Yeah,
monitor.
we're gonna have to. Do you know what social media is? What like? Where are you up to on the tech trends hierarchy?
Do you know what
There's-
Facebook is?
There's a Facebook, yeah, I'm aware of
Yeah.
that, yeah. And there's
Yeah.
Snapchat.
My face.
My face, yeah. And there's a Twitter. Yeah.
Yes.
I think MySpace still exists, and
Yes.
a lot of like
Justin Timberlake
If you had a
invested
MySpace
massive amount of
profile-
money into it, didn't he?
you may well still be on MySpace.
Yeah. But two of my bands still have their entries are there with all their music on.
There's a Point Blank Sound still on it.
I'll have to go and see if my MySpace profile.
Point Blank
still
Sound, man,
exists.
the greatest band. They're the band the Beatles wished they could have been.
I've got a flyer from one of your gigs in there somewhere.
Why? Why?
I don't know. It's just It's at the top of my little box of memorabilia.
Aww. Look at that.
It's a
What's the
flyer
date?
of one of Dan's
It's
old
Cry's
Dan's
Diary.
old bands. Dan's old bands.
2003, motherfucker.
Look, it's got obligatory Marshall picture.
Because you're a band.
They're a band and they're amps. I think you can see Phil in the background. Look. I'm naming names now. I shouldn't be doing that.
Anyway,
Yeah. More news. So, are you guys aware of? You guys have taught me a great deal about the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Yes.
The Internet of Things.
Of things. Yeah. Are you aware about a popular artist named Ed Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran,
Yeah.
yeah.
whose album Divide, while we were clearing out the spare room at home on Sunday, Vinny was somewhere else, that's my boy, we put that on and we listened to about 4 songs that we thought were great, and then the next 4 songs we were like, oh, fuck off, Ed, we're just so bored of you now.
I am of the opinion that the world needs slightly fewer white gingers rapping with acoustic guitars.
So why have you
Shut.
styled?
Well,
So your own personal look is very heavily modern.
Fuck
Ed
off.
Sheeran.
I did it first. I'm older.
I was Ginger first.
And like the top 10 is all Ed Sheeran songs except for 2, which are fucking Chainsmokers.
God,
and
the top 10 is meaningless these days.
completely meaningless, except for I can't say what I'm about to say. But yes. Anyway, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, he's going to be
Isn't that
on
the news?
Game of
He's in
Thrones
Game of Thrones.
in Series 7.
Hopefully getting disemboweled.
Which I've got a little bit here. Premiere date was announced as Sunday, July the 16th, and is only going to be 6 episodes long. So long wait, short payoff. There better be some boobs.
I'm excited.
About the
Oh,
boobs.
God.
Just, in fact, I think there's going to be hardly any boobs.
This is the last series, isn't it?
There's been a decreasing level of boobage.
Which is upsetting. Although to be fair, Emilia Clarke did sort us all out with her walking out of a flaming building in the Nud, which, to be fair, was a welcome return.
But
Because she's hot.
it's
She's
going to
really
be
hot.
a series.
And I'm not the first person on the internet to say that.
I don't think anyone was claiming that.
Oh my god, he's the first.
Oh my God! Hang on. Cheers!
It's gonna be a series of none of the fucking around.
Is this the last series?
No, but the next series is going to be really short as well.
No, but
They're only going to be
people
6 episodes each.
People aren't going to be whizzing around.
Well, I think they've just stopped worrying about. It could be like,
Mordor! Wherever. Fuck
but if they could just be set like 2 months after the last one, it doesn't matter. They spent 2 months walking. You didn't have to spend 9 episodes
They're all-
showing that.
Yeah.
All the old white dudes would be dead by the end of the series, and everyone else that was young would be old by the end of that series, surely.
Everyone's going to be dead anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's proper exciting. Like all the stuff that's been teased right from the beginning is going to be happening. She's finally on a boat and on the way over. The dragons are going to actually do something. The wall is definitely going to come down. There's going to be a White Walker invasion. All this big apocalyptic shit is going to happen. So it's going to be...
That is going to be quite
I'm looking
exciting.
forward
I
to
should
it.
probably watch Series 6 at some point.
For series 3 or something.
Series 6 is
Missing out on some quality boobies.
if you're feeling a bit
Tom, are there
jaded
boobs in it?
after
boobs,
Series
though.
5, then 6 is like, it's much better. Definitely.
6 is better after 5, because
Yeah,
5 was
5
fucking
is
boring.
a low point.
Weak
But
ass.
it's definitely better.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, I just don't want to watch another series of fucking Ramsay Bolton being evil. Which, to be fair, I
There's
know
quite
there's
a lot
probably
of that.
quite a lot of that going on in this one. But at least Theon No Penis is...
I mean, he finds creative and horrifying new ways to be evil. Like,
I don't know whether that's
quite a few of
necessarily...
them.
Does Theon get his penis back?
just grows back.
He's at home one day and there's a knocking on the door and he opens it and he's like, hello?
As it just reattaches itself. Wow!
No.
Oh,
no
poor
penis
Theon
reunion.
No Penis. I mean, it would be grey. Grey penis.
Great. So,
Anyway.
I've had Game of Thrones explained to me through boobies and penises. that's
And that's Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's got Ian McShane in it.
It does. He's right.
You are trying to make me watch it now.
It's
That
really
would-
Ian
fine.
McShane in it.
I'll watch Game of Thrones if you watch Stranger Things.
Yeah, alright.
Shit.
So...
Yep.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
We're doing this then, are we?
No, do you know what? Let's not, actually.
No,
Let's-
we can do it. Should we build up to the Switch stuff?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, Battlefield
We're a
1.
mere hour and 5 minutes into this. So it's time to really go deep on a subject.
So shall I get a couple of things out of the way?
Yeah, get the little ones.
Battlefield 1, They Shall Not Pass, the first expansion, new guns, new maps.
That's right. This is the French one, isn't it?
This is, including a map called Verdun Heights, which is supposed to be quite cool. Forest on one side on fire, lots of cool looking battles in there.
The microphone sort of raised. Sure, that was lower down to start with.
Oh.
Kind of nudge that down. It's just quite unfortunately positioned from where Dan's sitting.
Yeah, that's...
Subtle.
That's a great penis.
Yes, that is a great penis, yeah. Is it worth buying the expansion pass for? Pretty much every review I've read of it, or every preview, has said, if this is a spell of things to come, then yeah, it's worth buying the fucking expansion season pass thing, but then that's what you can say about every season
Yeah,
pass.
it's impossible.
The first bit of quality.
Until they're all out, it's impossible to say whether it was worth it.
Exactly. It's like with the Hitman thing. There were only several insane people, me among them, who bought the whole game to start with. But most people just kind
My
of picked
problem
up
with
level
those
after.
things is you have to love every single thing on that expansion pass to make it work, because it's not that much cheaper.
No.
So if you wanted maybe 3 out of the 6 DLCs, but another 3 you thought, no, I'm not really fussed about that, you'd be better off just getting 3 of them.
Yes. I bought the season pass for Arkham Knight, and then got tons of shit.
It's a
Tons
load
and
of
tons of really subpar shit.
Bear in mind, I'm one of the few people that defend that game.
Oh, it's a great
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Like the core game is really good. All the unnecessary bullshit and different cards. Like you can roll around Gotham, fucking music blasting in the Tumbler, but you can't do shit all in the Tumbler.
No, you can't. You can only use it for
Driving.
no, for the Riddler like driving.
Yeah,
bits,
or just driving around.
Can you actually drive around
actually
in that?
drive
'Cause
around
I've never
in it,
tried that.
But you can't do any of the converting to battle mode
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So you can't do any of the rest of the gameplay. And if you come up to a point where you do, it just defaults back to the other Batmobile. So it's like, what am I doing with my money?
It's a minimum effort, doesn't it? Well,
Yeah. I've got a kid. I should be buying nappies and food and cleaning the gutters out. And I bought this shit.
So, and also, some of it will be so easy. Like the Tumbler, you could get converted into that thing that Bane's rocking around.
I love
in.
what you say. Oh, it'd be so easy.
Yeah, well, I can do it. I'll do it for you. It's fine.
Expert
like,
developer.
and the Batmobile, the 1991 turns into the armoured.
If
thing.
they
Yeah.
thought about it beyond the whole let's just get it out so that we can stick to an arbitrary timetable, then yes, they would have done that. But they didn't, because they don't care.
I must say though, the Batmobile
us.
in Arkham Knight is awesome. Looks cool.
Yeah, it is awesome. Can I have one of those codes?
Yeah, let's go.
That's fine.
That's how
I'll
snap
have a drink,
bottles.
please. Yeah.
What do you want?
Can I have a San Pellegrino?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll go for one of those as well, Jack.
Do you know what?
It's a snack break.
Do
isn't it?
amuse
I'll go
yourselves.
for one as well. I'll go for one of those as well.
Go for it. There's more.
What else have we got? There's sorry, there's one bit. Layers of Fear is free with Games of Gold
played
at the
it?
moment.
Counting noise.
I have played none of it, but I'm looking forward to playing some of it. I've been told, mainly because I'm a massive fan of PT, even to the point buying a PlayStation 4 with it on, that I can't now do anything with because I can't connect it up to the internet without screwing everything up. But I probably shouldn't admit that, but that's fine. Yes, shouldn't have said that. But hey, it's fine, don't worry about it, it's not
The
illegal.
Sony ninjas
The Sony
already
Ninjas are already coming.
parachuting out of a helicopter into your house.
It apparently takes what PT did, but then multiplies that by 1 million, and you end up walking down 1,000 corridors.
Is it
Um,
like 9/11 times?
Yeah, 9,100. And it's just mental. Apparently, it takes it to the absolute extreme. But yeah,
Cool.
should be worth a squirt, I guess.
Excellent.
Definitely. Right. There's quite a bit to talk about Nintendo wise. So let's do it. And most of it's quite positive, I think. Should we start with the Jim Sterling stuff? Because we should mention that. That's been big news today.
It's just so stupid.
You read it then? Read it, yeah?
I've skimmed it because whenever this happens, and it happens all the time, it's just. Do you not understand the concept of journalism?
Yes. And reviewing. And it's one person's opinion.
But there's very few there's very few games journalism sites that aren't slightly questionable anyway, because they make all their money from games publishing companies.
We've discussed this before on the podcast, haven't we? We'll set the scene. Jim Sterling gave Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10,
Jim. What are you
which
thinking?
has affected its Metacritic score, and now Nintendo fans are going apeshit about it. Not all of them, some of them are.
All those other
Perfect.
perfect 10s are apparently not enough.
Yeah.
They're so het up that Jim Sterling didn't like it.
He liked it. That's the thing. He gave it a 7 out of 10.
Alright, but didn't like it enough to give it 10 out of 10.
Exactly.
There's
That's
so many things in this that just make me feel angry and
Yeah, really
frustrated.
angry and frustrated.
The fact that people are
like the world
bitching
doesn't
about
make sense.
a bad review, the fact that games companies, especially publishers, think that Metacritic scores are important, and the fact that a 7 out of 10 is a bad review. There's so clearly not unbiased reporting if everything's getting it a perfect 10.
So here's some of the general gist of what's happened today. Here's a
Where's
quote
my hair?
from where'd that come from?
Dunno.
Here's a quote from the review, which is, at its absolute best, Breath of the Wild offers some of the most absorbing experiences a Zelda game ever has. Unfortunately, it makes you work harder for it than you should. Buried as it is under a small pile. Let me do that again. Buried as it is under a pile of small but constant irritations that collaborate to form a thick crust of frustration around a delectable
I
something.
like the phrase
That is
thick crust of
brilliant.
frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild is a delightful adventure, one that tries its utmost to be as big a pain in the arse as possible. So what he's saying is he's enjoying the game, but there's some things that he found frustrating about it.
This is just so stupid.
So why is no one else finding it frustrating? Why?
They are, because the only people that get passionate about this are the sort of twats that make death threats when they get a slightly miffed by a review.
Which he's received, by the way, death threats over this.
Okay, but
Games, like there's a subset of games fans who are the worst people in the world. You know, they're the most ridiculously vocal communities.
Like
Games companies.
yeah, that's subscribe.
Like 90% of people just don't give a shit, but games companies are so beholden to their communities, who are really small subsets of their users, who have a massively disproportionate voice. You get that whole Gamergate nonsense. They
Yeah,
just
that was
represent
nonsense.
people, they're horrendous people who end up making it that anyone who remotely considers themselves a gamer or someone who plays games, you suddenly start to feel a bit embarrassed about it again. Just when it was becoming sort of socially acceptable and people recognising that there's more to it than bleeping arcade machines, you get these absolute butt munchers being horrendous, misogynistic, racist, sexist arseholes and making everybody look bad.
So
And you get people who do things like flip out because their favourite game got a 7 out of 10 rather than a 10. It doesn't affect
remember-
your enjoyment of the game.
But my question is why are not more people who reviewed the game
standing up for
picking up on? No, not just this.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Sterling said what he did, and the result is terrible. But you know, it's his review, and people don't like it. But why has it got so many perfect scores? Why are there no other people going? There were frustrations and saying it probably didn't deserve 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10.
I
Because
thought
there
that.
must be some frustrations. And why are people treating
Because
it like
they-
it's
they
doing
get-
something that no other game has done before? It's an open world fantasy RPG. It's
Yeah,
like
I'm sure it's
it's
really,
like
really
I
good.
can't
the
think of-
genre
I can't think
that.
of two I've already mentioned today.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to play it, and you know, when
So would I.
it gets ported to the iPad, I will play it.
Here's what I think. So Gambit is my favourite, probably one of my favourite characters in anything of all time, right? And the thought of a Gambit film makes the blood flow to my penis a little bit, so I'm not going to lie.
Sure, of course.
Now that film, if that film is vaguely decent, I will say it's one of the best films ever made.
Well, then you're part of the problem.
No, but that's the point. I will know it's not.
Well, that you're the problem.
People have been waiting for a Zelda game for so long
Uh-huh.
that because this game is, and I have now haven't played it, but from what I understand.
Which was exactly my point when I said to someone on Facebook who
Yeah.
I ended up getting into an argument with.
Yeah.
I said to them, a lot of the reviews I read sounded relieved, which is probably what influenced the massive scores,
Yes.
and has probably turned it from being what I think you'd probably term a competent game on new technology into people thinking it's the prophesied return of Christ.
Let me put it this way: I'll be very surprised if it's better than Witcher or Skyrim.
I think it's got a long way to go. The art style alone, when people say it's a design choice, of course it is.
It's a
forced
design
by
choice
the design
within the
of
limitations
the
of what
Switch.
you're working on,
Yeah,
It's a forced design
It's a forced
choice.
design
Yeah.
choice. So let's wrap that up right now. This is no Skyrimic epic.
Yeah.
That's right, Skyrimic.
I love that.
So we're going to use that as an adjectival noun.
Get that on the other T-shirt. On the front, back, Skyrimic.
Yeah.
Front, double baby.
Double baby.
baby.
Yeah. I think it's going to be one of those competent open worlds, like Driver was.
So, I'm not the biggest Jim Sterling fan. I'll be honest. I think he's a bit of a twat.
He's a bit
but
of a balance.
I watch his videos. I still end up watching them, and a lot of the time he makes a lot of sense. It's just that I don't find him particularly funny. I don't like the Jimquisition
I'd rather
persona
watch-
he puts on.
I'd rather watch him
Yeah.
than PewDiePie.
Yeah.
PewDiePie
Oh,
irritates me.
But it's not. This isn't about him. All he did was give an honest review of it. It's people's reaction to it, and not being able to go, "Oh, I don't quite agree with that," but fair enough.
And this seems like a...
Fair enough, Jim. That's your opinion. I don't agree with it, but I'll defend to the death your right to have an opinion of your own, Jim Sterling.
And you can't take seriously like GameSpot or something like that. You're reading their review of a game, and the header and both sides of the page are plastered with adverts for that game. That is how they make their money. The only people who advertise on games journalism sites are games companies. You very rarely, the odd movie, but you very rarely see adverts for anything else. So, and it's not just the advertising. They get taken on junkets and all sorts of things. So they're not going to be honest in their reviewing.
Didn't
Isn't-
GameSpot get into hot water over Kane and Lynch,
Yeah.
which was given
Yeah.
an almost perfect
And it
game
was-
score?
It was
Not
the
good.
banner was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was that was the time when they had the major Kane and Lynch advertising campaign.
But again, all you need to do is just sort of have a little bit of a think about it, just make up your own mind, read more than one review, and consider where this stuff's coming from.
I've never understood the fervent fan. I've never understood the fan that gets so angry that you don't like the same things as them,
Yeah.
that they call you stupid, or they think that you're a moron, or they attack something of yours just out of spite because you attacked their thing.
Do you remember when Uncharted 4 came out and there was the change.org petition to get the guy from the Washington Post to change it?
Oh, do you know what? And I'm the worst of all. I mean, I got into arguments with people over Uncharted 4 just saying it's one of those series that really didn't need another game, and it's not brilliant, or that it's when people go over the top and call things like groundbreaking.
Yeah,
It's not groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It's doing something that games have been doing for a long time very well. Let's keep things, wind your neck in. It's not groundbreaking. It's not earth shattering. It's not the next step in entertainment. It's just a good example of something. Let's
The easiest game.
we always talk about taking games seriously. We always talk about people ruining it for everyone else. And the fact is that because the games industry is business, it always has this hype. You've always got the marketing people who are always looking for another way to push the limit in terms of what they can and can't say. And I know they've got to make sales, but unfortunately their audience is pretty established. It's the same people with the same desires, whether they be younger or older as they come through from generation to generation. At the moment, we are sitting at this precipice where gaming is either going to carry on and be respected to a point, and every now and then duck out of the shell when some twat says something stupid, or it's going to collapse off the side and we're going to get just mega corporations doing everything, because people are going to get pissed off. They're going to find other platforms to do it as well. And maybe, God forbid, places like the Switch are going to be how you play games from now on. Goodbye consoles, goodbye big... I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm ranting.
I
I think I'm ranting.
You are, but you with a purpose, and it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. It's not a great situation, and I look forward to seeing Yahtzee, who's a good friend of Jim Sterling, I believe.
Yes.
His review of Breath of the Wild now,
Yeah.
which I'd imagine will be probably ruder, at least I would say.
Because he's a critic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He even says it in one of his videos. He was responding, I think it was the mailbag one he did ages ago. Someone said, "Oh, you just criticise all the games." And he goes, "Because I'm a critic.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I point out everything that's bad about the game." But he also, and he started off his Bioshock review by going, "That's pretty good,"
Yeah.
and then went into a big
All
rant
right,
about
all right,
how
yeah,
shit it
yeah.
was, So yeah, I think he'll probably be. I've always said his reviews of things are usually the most genuine because
Yeah.
he tells you everything that's shit about it,
and-
and if you don't care, you're going to play it.
Yeah, I quite like that. It's sort of that you watch it and you go, yeah, I can live with all that.
Yeah.
And if that's what you think, you'll
Yeah.
probably really enjoy the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if you watch it thinking that will ruin it for me, then you're out.
I can always tell if his is particularly critical, like super critical to the point where he's actually taking the piss out of
Yeah.
it.
Usually there's a poo on the screen. At that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I always know this is going to be a rubbish game.
Yeah.
Because he does begrudgingly admit when things are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Love you. Sorry.
I personally, and once again, I've not played Breath of the Wild. I can't see that a game that we fall over ourselves for, something like Inside,
What a game though.
it didn't do anything different, but what it did do, it did perfectly, right? I think that's fair to say. Like as perfect.
Well, okay, perfect is a difficult
there
word
there
to
are
use.
some issues with it, yeah, but it's
But I've read bad reviews of Inside. I didn't kill anybody.
no.
I didn't start any fucking petitions
No.
to just prove why we're not allowed nice things.
Do you remember we changed the
How
org
could
used to be
you?
useful?
You go and change the org, and there's petitions like, we need to increase aid to the refugees. We need to make sure that racism is taken out of football. We need to try and encourage supermarkets not to place adverts in newspapers that spread hatred and division and fear. And you look through those and you go, yeah, I think my point about Zelda Breath of the Wild is just as valid as all of this, and it's really going to get people. Fuck off. And just
Petition
go
to make
and sit
Jim
in a box.
Sterling change his own opinion.
His own opinion, yeah, exactly, yeah. I'd say I'll. Here's the one thing is definitely guaranteed. Everyone's going to watch the next Jimquisition
Yeah.
because I'm going to watch it because he's already said it's up already because I just got a link to it. My friend just sent me a link to it. Alex, who's been on the pod actually, so you know her.
Oh yeah, Alex.
Yeah.
Hope you're well.
She just sent me a link saying, I know you don't like Jim Sterling, but you might like this one. And apparently it's pretty ranty on his side of things. So
Sounds good.
yeah,
I know
To be
what I've been
honest,
masturbating to tonight.
It's absolutely excellent for him because his YouTube revenue is going to go through the roof.
Oh, 100%, yeah. It works out, yeah, it couldn't have worked any better for him.
I would kill
Don't
for
worry
those
about it.
figures.
So, Breath of the Wild doing quite well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Switch doing quite well. Come
Yeah.
out, done alright.
Yeah.
A few hardware issues. Apparently,
some pretty serious hardware issues.
okay, but I've managed to avoid a lot of this. So.
Well, the left controller
Yeah.
has a a fundamental design flaw.
Oh no! Hang on though. Aren't they saying it's less than 0.5% of all people who bought a Switch are experiencing these difficulties? And you think, hang on, I've seen quite a lot of complaints about this.
That's also impossible to say because they might mean if we add up all the things that we've seen and compare that to the sales numbers, but you don't know who hasn't experienced it. You've got
And
no
who's
way
not
of
saying
telling.
it? Who's too scared
Also,
of the
people might just have
Nintendo
not
overlords?
encountered. It doesn't happen all the time.
fine. I just won't use that one.
The Bluetooth antenna is woefully unfit for purpose and is placed right behind a massive lump of metal inside the controller. So it really struggles to maintain connectivity, which is
I
quite
didn't know
difficult with Bluetooth. That's why Apple AirPods are only just a thing. Bluetooth headphones have existed for ages, but they always have the wire between them because it's very difficult to get a signal from one side of a human hand to the other with something as weak as a Bluetooth transmitter. So there's a guy that opened one
I
up
like this.
and he soldered on just like a piece of copper wire like 10 centimeters of it, just soldered that on to the Bluetooth antenna, which is printed onto the circuit board in the Switch controller. It's not a physical separate thing. And then it worked fine. And he did sort of experiments with them. He took them like 40 meters apart and it's still working. So it wouldn't have been a difficult thing to do. But it does seem like a fairly big cock up. And apparently also
so this dude just popped open his Switch.
yeah, it's like an engineer type guy.
Yeah.
The first thing he was going to do was
Yeah. And also the dock, which looks like the plastickiest piece of shit ever,
$90.
scratches up your screen.
Yes, if you because it is essentially just a shell with a USB connection. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's like
And
no, it's an HDMI connection, which you have to sort of find.
All it does is a pass-through thing. I thought it'd be like a nice sort of sleekly engineered
Padding on the
piece of
side.
kit, and you'd expect, that when you put the screen in, it was very carefully held so that the screen was never physically near anything inside the dock.
But it's just a
So
USB. It's just like a USB port, isn't it, basically?
yeah, that's all it is.
Yes, the whole thing costs £280. You're not going to expect.
That's
So
insane.
you're not going to expect quality.
Much like, in a similar way, much like the controller's got a nice little message for gamers that bought this. You've seen that? Like, if you buy the Pro controller, they've hidden a little message for the gamers in there. Much like that, the dock's got a message that just says, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm going to scratch this corner of your screen.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
cunt.
How dare you? You know this is a handheld console. We all know it's a handheld console. Why are you even trying to pretend? And that's the other thing.
Sit down and play Breath of the Wild, you fuck.
Everyone's saying, go play on the shitter like you, which is what it's for.
I mean, that's the
What
thing.
it really needs is, what is another game for it?
Oh, once you switch.
Once you
What is
switch-
another game for it? That's not a game.
Snipper tits or
Snipper
Is it snipper tits or something? Snipper
The snipper clips. That looks
Snipper clips.
shit as
Snipper
well.
tits.
Can you, off the top of your
Better.
can you actually name any Switch games?
Oh, it's got there's Inside. There
No,
is-
any Switch games.
Oh, Switch games. Okay.
Not other games that happen to be available on the Switch.
Oh, okay. What about
The
There's-
port of Super Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
0.5. Yeah.
Point
It
0.5.
needs some good exclusives. Everyone who's bought it so far was always going to buy it, but that's not going to be enough.
So it's broken records. The Switch sales are broken records at the moment in the
What
US
records?
and the UK. It's beaten the Wii for initial launch, but then
The
everyone
only
seems
people
to
that bought the Wii
Yeah.
were always going to buy the Wii.
And people seem to forget the Wii was really hard to get hold of in the first weekend.
Oh, not the Wii U.
No, the Wii, yeah.
Yeah, the launch of the Wii was a classic Nintendo manufacturing shortfall fuck up. So in 1 year, there is no way the Switch is going to have the same numbers. as the Wii.
I'm willing to sit back and stroke my beard over this, but I think you're probably right.
Because the Wii was impossible to get hold of, and then
Yeah.
3 weeks later you could get two for 50p in Tesco.
Yeah.
You pick one up when you went in to get some carrots. It's not going to be the same with the Switch.
Yeah, it's just carrots, nuts, cashews.
Now, people would argue that the Xbox 360 had fatal in terms of the console flaws as well.
Oh yeah, of course it did. But it didn't have.
That's a
It
bit
didn't
For the
manifest
console, yeah.
immediately. They waited until you'd all bought one, and then they all started exploding.
I suppose so. And then they
Also, when it happened, you put it in a box. It got sent to the Netherlands, and you got a new Xbox.
yeah.
Are they replacing the
No,
hardware?
Jack, someone I work with, who's been on the pod as well, actually, for that matter, he pointed out that apparently Nintendo are saying that the ones that have been supplied with dead pixels, they're considered a feature.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so lucky! I've got a special feature on the way.
Yeah.
Dead pixels are.
Pain in the arse.
That's not something that's acceptable on,
No.
on something like that. And that should be part of the QA process.
Can we-
There's a thing you can do. You can, during manufacture, they can check for that, and it should ditch any units that have got one.
Can we talk about the massive elephant in the room that is this has been marketed as a home console? And it's not. It's not a home console. It's what we said it was going to be, which is it's a portable console and a powerful portable console that eventually you're going to be able to play Skyrim on, which is really cool.
Yeah, but it's going to look like you're playing it on a potato.
And it performs better. It performs better outside the dock. Like nearly all the games are performing better in handheld mode.
I'm not really sure why that is, because it does have. There's more. Is it that there's more power available to it when it's in the dock, but the upscaling is bigger than the increase in.
It
Can you imagine the processor probably goes.
So I think it gets a bit of a bump in terms of processor power when it's docked.
Does it though?
Well, I mean, there's no. It must just be because it knows it's got a constant power supply. It runs things a bit quicker. There's no hardware in the dock apart from the pass-through for power and HDMI.
Yeah, but it's running things.
So basically, it overclocks it slightly when you put it in there because it knows that the battery's not going to be flat in 5 minutes.
But it runs things better in handheld mode.
Because when it's in the dock, it's trying to upscale it. What's the red? It's like 720. It's
720 screen. But the screen is small enough, so 720 looks crisp.
That's fine. So, shut up, okay?
If you just put that on your 50-inch plasma, it would look like you're playing it through a filmy turdy veil.
So the dock doesn't do anything remotely clever except connect it to your TV.
You didn't need to put the word "except" or anything after
Yeah.
that. It doesn't do anything remotely clever. It could be a cable.
So you just hook it up to it could be a cable. I mean, and you can connect
You're
cables.
paying a premium for a more convenient way to store it rather than just plugging something in and leaving it on the side next to the telly.
And you can plug any USB-C isn't in to charge it.
Yeah.
But the problem is because it's on the bottom of the screen. So you've got the screen like this. And the biggest problem is when you try to flick up the thing, it's underneath.
So you can't charge it and play.
You can't charge it and have it like that.
Well done, Nintendo. That is.
And
just,
the only reason it's
stupid.
there is so you can hook it into your dock.
Well, they should have been cleverer with the dock.
You
Yes.
should have put.
That's
you should
a
have
real
had to do it upside
industrial
down.
design.
Can you imagine if Apple did that?
Well, Apple did do that.
Did they?
They did. They had a mouse,
Yeah.
a wireless mouse.
Yeah.
So you need to charge them up every now and then. So in all of them, the wire goes in there, so you
Yeah.
carry on using it just like a cable mouse. But on Apple's one, the dock was on the bottom of the mouse.
Yeah.
So when you were charging it up,
You can
you
use it.
just had to put your mouse down and wait for an hour, and then you could go back to it. So they do
See, people are already.
fuck up quite often.
People are
They did
already.
another mouse that was perfectly circular. So you had you put it in your hand, and then you had no idea which way was forward. You had sort of rotate it. Oh, there we go, we're going.
People are already experiencing noticeable control lags when the switch is docked. But a lot of people. Sorry, I've just let off what can only be described as a ripe odour.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. To the point where it's the kind of thing that most fans of the Switch will say, oh, it only happens every now and then and you can kind of get used to it. But it's, most other people would say, this is fucking ridiculous. I've tried to play Breath of the Wild for half an hour and 7 or 8 times it's been completely overwhelmed by frame rate issues, which people say often happens in the heat of battle, which is obviously when you want those
Yeah, that's when it actually matters.
big.
And that's the sort of stuff
slowdowns
that prevents growth of their audience. So everyone that's prepared to make excuses for it and go, oh, it only happens every now and then, it's not too bad, they're the people who are going to buy it anyway, they're going to buy the next thing.
Yeah.
It's the people who are thinking about maybe buying a Switch that they need to get on board. And if you read that it's chunky hardware with no decent games available, overpriced and unreliable control,
Plasticky.
you're not going to think, I'll give it a go.
I would love to know how well Breath of the Wild's selling on Wii U.
Is it on the Wii U?
Yeah. It was on the Wii U at the same time.
I might buy a cheap Wii U to play it. then.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
kind of the way
Exactly
I'm
what I was
yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
And it seems to be there's a couple of, like, you don't get a map, for example, and it feels like the kind of petty move that Nintendo might make just to say, well, fuck you if you bought it on the Wii U because we've taken your mini map away,
What, you mean a printed map?
no, it's on the screen.
But they've actually removed a feature from the game.
Because otherwise it won't run on the Wii U, I believe. I think I might be right about that. But yeah.
Bullshit. Minimap that's bullshit. That's
Exactly.
fucking clown shoes.
Exactly,
that
isn't it? Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Fucking defend that and keep a fucking straight face. Anyone out
I
there?
might be wrong.
Anyone out there, I fucking challenge you to defend that. That is bullshit. And if no excuse you have is good enough.
Because
If you're going to release something on a format, release it in a way that it can play it.
Downscale the already pretty awful graphics anyway. Just for fuck's
Reminds
sake.
me of
This was a game that was
back in the
designed for
day.
Wii U as well.
I had a Spectrum, and you go into an arcade and play an arcade game, and then in Software Plus in the Maltings, they would have like that arcade game for the Spectrum. You go, wow, that's available on the Spectrum, and you buy it and load it, and you got like 4 pixels going. And you think that is not Street Fighter 2.
That's not the same. Yeah.
They did release Street Fighter 2 for the Spectrum. It was not a success. And you had like Duke Nukem 3D was on the Mega Drive. It was unplayably bad.
Yeah.
But I think they didn't really worry about it back then. They
No.
just, have you got something more important to do?
No, he's looking up sales.
Yeah,
figures.
I'm looking up differences between Wii U and Switch Breath of the Wild. I'm listening, sorry. Switch version will also feature higher quality environmental sounds. As a result, the sound of steps, water, grass, etc. are more realistic and enhanced in the game's open air field.
First of all, none of that really affects gameplay. It's the nice to haves.
The Switch version will render it to 900p on a TV compared to the Wii U at 720.
900p?
Yep.
That's not a P number.
The only differences are minimal, such as different button icons and the fact that only Switch version will launch with special and master editions containing both bonus physical collectibles. Nintendo also noted that the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild will require 3 gig of available memory. Both versions will have a frame rate of 30 FPS. That said, we noticed the Wii U version frequently struggled to hit that goal. It struggled to hit 30 FPS.
Anyway.
I thought there was more than that, but yeah.
Alright, okay, so
So
if there
in
is a minimap,
conclusion-
then that's fine, and you don't have to prove anything.
So Breath of the Wild looks good. The Switch doesn't look like it's convinced any of us. People that complain about reviews are idiots, and
And actually,
games journalists that give everything 10 out of 10 because that's where their money comes from
Yeah.
are morally questionable.
yeah, that's good. So that about wraps up the episode.
I think so.
Okay.
We're done. We once again wrapped it up with Nintendo. We might not talk about Switch next week.
Let's not.
Let's not. But okay, a moratorium on
Switch touring.
Switch,
Unless something.
unless something catastrophically hilarious happens.
Yeah.
Like the girl, like in the advert, just eats
So,
one.
just be
I don't know.
Being beaten by her,
No!
by her friends for not. Why did you bring the Switch? We're trying to have a nice time. Trying to talk. Anyway,
Right, Dan, get us out of here.
Thanks for listening. Anyway, and watching.
with your eyes.
And with you, my giant. Hang on, I wonder if I can.
Let's not sing to that.
Yes. Yeah.
That was worth it.
Russell's
Yeah,
visibly
we're gonna,
disappointed.
You're 35.
We're going to wrap this up, so thanks for listening and watching. You can contact us on Twitter, which is @2NTOH. You can contact us on Facebook, facebook.com/TNTOH. And we're back up on the website. I noticed you put an article up, I think.
I put an
Yeah.
article up today. Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to go into what you...
Oh, it's basically just 4 or 5 movie quotes that I particularly enjoy.
I'm going to check the emails tomorrow. I've made that decision right now.
Good.
Talk to us at tntoh.com or .co.uk.
Talk to us at TNTOH.
You'll go in there, it'll be like offers from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Going, we heard your first podcast and we want to turn you into a movie. And then there's another one 6 months later going, you know what, fuck you guys, never talk to me again.
We're going to make you into Hollywood kids, and now like, no, you're done.
Yeah. We want you guys to come out to LA.
Yeah. TNTOH talk to us at tntooh.com. Okay, we're going to go now, so thanks for listening. I've been Dan, this is Russ, this is Tom, James Journalist was here earlier, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just wondering how long you're going to say that.
Yes.